Thank you to the people who fund us to make this possible. So thanks to our supporters at Con Edison, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs in partnership with the City Council, New York State Council on the Arts with the support of Governor Kathy Hochul and the New York State Legislature, the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York Community Trust, the Howard Gilman Foundation, the Ruth Foundation, and just so many very generous individuals just like you who make this happen. So thank you. And if you want to be, if you're not a current supporter, you want to be, you can zoom in on that QR code or just text A4 donate to our number 202-858-1233. Yeah, we accept crypto, cash, stock, all of it. Okay, so enough of that. We're going to get started in just a second, but before I want to do a quick land acknowledgement because we acknowledge that the land that's politically designated as New York City to be the homeland of the Lenape and Canarsie peoples who were violently displaced as a result of European settler colonialism over 400 years ago. And the Lenape and Canarsie are diasporic people who remain closely connected to this land and are its rightful stewards. So as an organization that focuses on the rights of underrepresented peoples and in solidarity with Indigenous peoples, we recognize this history and uplift the sovereignty of Indigenous people and their territory. So we commit to dismantling ongoing settler colonial practices and their implications in our world. So with that, we are going to open with a short film, and feel free to applaud at the end if you're so moved. Just kidding.
It's, I think, important to understand today that that term Asian American began, number one, as a radical project. It was not simply a kind of demographic title.
Many people today might hear about how even the term Asian American came about in the early 70s. The San Francisco Third World Student Strike, activists getting involved in efforts to stop the war in Vietnam, efforts to support the Black Power movement.
Because it was such a new idea, I think everybody was just kind of groping around like we just wanted to write our own stories and we didn't think it was going to become anything. But we felt that we needed to express ourselves. So I think when A4 comes along, that becomes the opportunity to create a kind of umbrella organization that can create unity.
The Asian American Arts Alliance was born out of a need to capture the rich diversity that exists in Asian America. There were so many more Asian American artists that had come through years of activism, creating their art. Really, I have to credit the Basement Workshop. The community itself was becoming engaged in a struggle for resources. And so the artists were able to look at the community and say, what can we do to help out?
Sometimes I can't believe that we're 40. I mean, I feel like 16. I think it is such a huge testament to the resilience of this community. It takes artists and funders and art patrons and everybody to make this organization work and to support and to ensure that these artists can continue creating.
The project that Jaden Wong Fellowship allowed me to pursue is called Bumalik, which is to return in Tagalog. And this practice is something of a personal journey of understanding what it means for a Filipinx American femme, such as myself, finding home and rootedness in the American diaspora.
What art allows us to do is envision that future, envision ourselves, see ourselves in new ways and our relationship to the larger society and to the world in new ways.
So during the pandemic, I think a lot of our community was feeling kind of helpless. A lot of people were feeling angry at the spike in anti-Asian hate and violence. And as artists, sometimes we don't know where to start. Not just artists, but just citizens. What can we do to stop this? And so we created this program called What Can We Do?
In the face of our elders, women, trans folks, children experiencing violence activates a kind of responsibility for artists as well as creators and voices to push back against the system.
It's critical that we know our history as Asians in America, as Asian American people. We are American, but our history is often neglected or stereotyped and not embraced.
When we don't have opportunities to share our stories, somebody else will share them with their voice. There are worlds that we could be sharing, inspiring people, creating a safer and a better community.
Representation is a matter of life and death. And we particularly see this during the recent spike in anti-Asian hate. The lack of humanity that characterizes the way that Asians have been portrayed makes it much easier for people to feel, oh, I'm attacking a thing rather than a human being. If we invest in artists who are coming up today, then 20 or 30 years from now, we could see a world that is as transformed as the one that differs from when I was a kid.
People don't want to live in a place that doesn't have the arts. And we need to support these organizations right now to ensure that they're healthy and they'll be here for 10, 20, 40 years. Funding in New York City for AAPI organizations is about 4%, while we are close to 18% of the city population. So it's extremely inequitable. It continues to marginalize these communities, BIPOC communities.
What A4 does, specifically for me, is create the environment at which I can believe in myself, that I can enter a space and know that even though I may not see people who look like me in the space, that I am supported and that my voice matters.
Organizations like A4 are pretty much critical to the continued growth and expansion in our artistic community. That's why it's important for AAPIs who have resources, or all of us, to find ways to support emerging Asian artists.
I think it's so important that now is the time, and so important for artists now, artists of every discipline, to step forward with authority and agency of our own voice and our own narrative. Through A4, I was able to believe in myself.
Through A4, I have benefited from finding opportunities and building community.
Through A4, I was able to create and collaborate on my own terms.
Through A4, I've been able to connect with like-minded folks, able to connect with other Asian American artists.
I've been able to provide opportunities for contemporary South Asian artists.
I became more proud of my Asian heritage.
Get to learn about all the amazing things Asian American artists are doing in New York City.
I was blessed with an opportunity to serve my community and to represent my Asian American identity through cinema.
Through the Asian American Arts Alliance, I was able to nurture my own love of art.
I was able to feel myself part of a larger community of AAPI artists here in New York City.
Through A4, we can ensure that our community voices are heard, that our artists can continue to tell their stories, that we can continue to inspire ourselves and each other.
I just wanted to say, I mean, I think you probably recognize some of the people in that, but, we've been around for 40 years, and we were founded by people that were coming out of Basement Workshop, and as Rocky and David mentioned, like, we need to know our history, and, a lot of our elders are passing away. Corky Lee was one of the founders of A4 and so many other organizations. And we just lost Kobe Narita this couple weeks ago. And she was also a legend in the jazz world and a very important person in A4 in our programming over the years. So pieces like this, they're not cheap to make, but they're really important, right? So that we have this history, that we can understand our legacy. So we're going to put it up on our website in case you want to revisit and see it again, because it's really kind of heartwarming, I think. Okay, so with that, we're going to move on to your stories. So this is the order. Try to remember who you are up after. I don't know, is Anjur here? Anjur? Hi. Oh, you are here, great, okay. All right, so we're going to go in this order. So Anjur, Sammy, not Maka, Paul, Georges, are you here? Georges isn't here? Georges is always here. Okay. Nancy is here. Jimin, okay, you're here. And Veronica, I saw you. Avni, are you here? Oh, great. Okay. Let's see who else. Cindy? Yes. Okay, great. Cindy's here. Cici? Yes. Great. Tati? I know I saw you too, right? Yeah. Okay. Beata, I saw you too. There you are. Louise? Is Louise here? Oh, great. Excellent. Okay. Ayo? Ayo, sorry. Ayo. Chanel, I saw you. Chanel somewhere. Okay, yay. Eli? Is Eli here? Nope. Okay, not yet, maybe. And then Ayano. Here. Great. Okay. So now you know your order. So you will have 2 minutes. I will hold up this iPad that says 2 minutes and tell you when to start, and you will be able to see the clock. So we will start with Anjur, and here we go.
Hi, my name is Anjur. I use she, they pronouns. It's so nice to see so many familiar faces. I used to work with A4, and it was just the loveliest time. I just wanted to come up and say hello on behalf of eastlinetheater.org, right over there. So I'm a Long Island-based actor, musician, director, writer, creative, and I'm currently working for and volunteering with Eastline Theater. They are a nonprofit theater organization based in Long Island, off of the East Line of the train, hence the name. And they just celebrated their 10th anniversary season this year. So, making theater on Long Island can be difficult, especially it's not because there are a lot of white people, it's just that a lot of the decision makers tend to be older and whiter and not a fan of. Maka's angry about it too. We were talking earlier, she's really incensed. She was like, Anjur, we gotta do something. I said, Maka, you're so right. So a lot of the people who are making these decisions are not people that look like you and me. And I live on Long Island. I get it. There's a lot of BIPOC people there. There's people that are creative there. It's not like nobody lives there. And I think it's so important that we have that sort of representation when it comes to new theater, diverse theater, different plays and stories and things like that. So Eastline Theater is actually one of the few places that really works on developing new playwrights, new actors, new directors, and I've been really happy and lucky to be able to direct 2 staged readings this past year of a really exciting new playwright. Some of her plays are now moving on to different larger theaters on Long Island. Some have moved into the city. And through working with Eastline as a creative associate, I'm also very, very happy to be able to help influence some of our artistic programming in the coming year. So I'm here to tell you that if you are somebody who's an actor or a choreographer or a director, a musician, if you just want to get involved, if you want to get some stage managing credit, you want to do something like that, feel free to come chat with me. You can go on Eastline's website, you can follow them on Instagram, and come chat. We can talk about developing new theater and really, I don't know, just getting some good rep out there. And I will say this, we do celebrate Latin Heritage Month. We have a lot of Asian actors, but we haven't had the chance to have a full AAPI month or a bunch of plays for just AAPI month, so I'm pushing them that way. I think that if we get a lot of people auditioning or pitching shows, things like that, if I see some of you guys there, come through. All right, I'm done. Thanks so much.
Hi, my name is Sammy. I am a visual artist, and my project is called Portraits from the Community. So this is kind of a personal project I began last May for AAPI Heritage Month, and I just wanted to amplify a lot of these incredible people who are part of our community that have not only done great things for our people, but also have inspired me and given me personal advice as an artist. This was based on a column I used to read as a kid called, in Sports Illustrated, called Faces from the Crowd, and it highlighted, just ordinary people doing incredible athletic accomplishments. So I just took this and created my own project. And one piece of advice I'd really like to share is from my friend Ed Chang, who's a photographer here in New York. And before I went on this road trip to amplify underrepresented stories of API history on Route 66, he gave me advice to just kind of go where the story takes me. And I was really nervous about going on this road trip. I'd never been from LA to Chicago, driving that distance. And I just kind of took his advice and booked my trip into LA and my trip out of Chicago, and just drove and then see what happened. And I didn't even book hotels. And it was really helped make my trip successful. And I think as an artist, we often don't know exactly the path we're going to follow. So just kind of, go to discovering the road, ahead. And so that's my project. And maybe eventually I'll have an exhibit and have all these portraits hung up, and everyone can come together. And individually we're amazing, but together I think we'll be even stronger.
Hi everyone, my name is Paul Chico. I use he, him pronouns. I don't have so much of a pitch, just a update how things have been. I was one of the recipients of the What Can We Do microgrant from last year, so just wanted to take you on a little bit of that journey. My background is in movement, mindfulness, and writing. And the grant, the idea for it was a workshop called Embodying Pleasure as Resistance. And it used a mixture of all the different modalities in my practice. So a little bit of contemporary dance, a little bit of hip hop, I have that background too. Meditation, it was to live music. It was held in the old A4 headquarters in downtown Brooklyn. It was such a beautiful use of the space, and I think a lot of people found it really powerful to see this kind of workshop facilitated by people who look like them. And especially in a city that asks you to be in your mind, to have an opportunity to be in your body. And I just wanted to share the journey of that. So that was in the fall of 2022. I went to the Philippines with my partner Melanie in the beginning of 2023. Part of it was for family, and I didn't really have the expectation of sharing it there, but there were so many communities in La Union in the north and in Siargao in the south, close to where my family is from in Butuan, that we were able to share it there and really meet the needs of the community and focus working with a point person in that area and seeing what are their specific needs. And also making it accessible both for locals and for people who are visiting, and partnering with other nonprofits there that had a social good component. And I just wanted to share that, and if you want to learn more about it, come talk to me, and I'm happy to meet everybody here. Thanks.
Nancy? Oh, I don't think George is this year.
Hi everyone, I'm Nancy. I use she, her pronouns. I am from Chinatown, New York. I'm an actor, filmmaker, playwright. I'm currently developing a musical called Sweatshop Melody, and it follows a group of immigrant women who work in a garment factory in Chinatown. I have a third draft maybe, and I have like 4 demo tracks, and I've done some work in progress presentations, and currently I'm trying to figure out like what my next steps are. So if you have any advice, any thoughts, or any potential collaborators, or you might be one, I am all ears. Look for me after and chat with me. Are we gonna, oh, okay. And then I have this short little Sweatshop Melody prelude, kind of give you a taste of the music, but do forgive the singing.
Might have been cut off, Nancy.
That was the taste.
Literally, I was like singing. That's why I was like, I said that.
Make that video? Wow.
Yeah.
This is the Chinatown sweatshop, the place where I go up. Everybody's got their heads down, dreaming of a la la la, making up a better la la life. This is the Chinatown sweatshop, the place where I grow up. Everyone's too busy to play with me. I'll make my way out to find a home where I can better dream.
All right, next, you're ready.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Jimin. I'm a contemporary dance choreographer and designer based in Queens. So the video you just saw was a research I've been doing with dancers to research on a new project that is inspired by the symbolism of the moon in Chinese culture. As many of you probably know, like moon is often mentioned in many aspects of the culture, such as the Moon Festival. It's also used a lot in many poetry, literature, painting, etc. So it's a significant symbol in the Chinese culture, and also I believe in many other Asian cultures as well. So I want to do more research, use it as inspiration for my next project. Hopefully to share the work in progress in next year around the Moon Festival time. And well, that's it. Thank you very much.
Hi everybody, I'm Veronica, actress, writer, director, comedian, and founder of Model Majority, an all-Asian sketch comedy team that was recently featured in Good Morning America and New York One, which was really exciting. And one of the things I discovered founding this comedy team is that a lot of Asians don't get opportunities to do the art that they want to do or the comedy they want. So we were in our 5th year, we just had a 5th birthday. So one of the things I thought, I loved the experience, and people loved the experience of getting that stage time or learned how to write or whatever. I thought, how do I expand it so that more people can get that opportunity that maybe aren't interested in comedy? So I'm starting this open mic. We're doing a holiday kickoff, December 16th at 5 and Dime, which is by City Hall, and it's open to any type of art. So if you want to do stand up for the first time, if you want to sing, if you want to read an excerpt from your book, dancing's a little tight because it's very small, but if you have a piece that you can fit around this like very curved bar, you're welcome to try it. There's a screen so you can show your film. And basically, yeah, and it's also like a support group because they want it to be a supportive mic. Because sometimes, if anybody's been to an open mic, it's mostly like white men that like don't pay attention or like very negative towards like your art. So I want it to be like a group where it's supportive. And if you wanted to get advice or if you want to ask about resources, this is the place that we can congregate and meet. And yeah, so that's it. So I hope you can join me December 16th.
Hi everyone, my name is Avani Patel. I'm a visual artist and I'm going to show my work from 2000 till now. For 20 years I moved to New York, 2003. So my first work is from 2000 to 2002. So this is 7 by 7 feet, 8 by 8 feet. My work is based on growing up in India and coming to America, and you know, the culture, the color spoke to me, and I grew up around performers and theater and lots of color, very festive. So my paintings are based on that. Everyday surroundings, nature, movement, and I like to experiment things with my work. So then when I moved to New York, limited space, then I started creating paintings at home in my apartment because I didn't have a huge studio. So, and then 2007 to 10, I started exploring more, experimenting with colors and movement, gestures and patterns and conversational work. Like this is nature is calling us and talking to each other and whimsical. So this is based on that. And then this one is about growing up in India. With, my sister was a performer, she was in theater. So this is like having a dialect in an abstract way. They're talking to each other. And also pattern plays a big part of me because I grew up in India, textile and the colors, so I just wanted to focus on that. And this one is painted on mylar, and these paintings are 7 by 3 feet, so I did 5 of them, the series of as an installation project for a gallery I had an exhibition with. Then started working small again because not having a studio, so it was back and forth. So my work has that like experimenting, like a lot of colors, but also I do a lot of drawings. So I do about 400 or 500 drawings a year, and that helps me move direction towards my paintings, and I play with colors. Okay, so thank you. Very beautiful.
Where would you start?
Okay, hi everyone, I'm Cindy, and here I'm introducing my portrait project idea for the elders of Chinatown and Flushing. So this was spawned off the idea that I got from the What Can We Do microgrant from the spring, where we gave out over 80 free Polaroids to the Chinatown community. And from there I realized the range of ages of the people who came and wanted photos, and a lot of them were above the age of 60. And it was very heartwarming to see that these Asian elders were so shy about getting their pictures taken, but it did bring a smile to their face. So, next slide. I wanted to have this opportunity to focus directly on this demographic because, as Lisa said earlier, a lot of our elders are unfortunately passing, and I really wanted to capture their story, their beauty, and to amplify their voices before it's too late. And so with this project, I wanted to have a DSLR free free picture booth, not Polaroid. And hopefully there'll be interviews, opportunities as well if they were so excited to share their stories. Because I know that when we ask our grandparents about their lives, if they do tell us, it's more of a, whoa, what can I expect? Wow, your story is very unimaginable, but I think that given the opportunity to share about their life story, to share about the beauty that they've experienced, that's really going to strengthen our community. So I'm looking for anyone who's interested in helping with the photography aspect, translating, setting up the space. If you have a studio place in mind, that would be fantastic. And if you just want to get involved, I would love your help and support. So thank you so much for listening.
Hi, I'm Cece. I use she, they pronouns, and I'm a graphic designer in New York. I'm here to introduce you to my organization, Asians for Sex Positivity. We are a digital platform, mainly with the goal to destigmatize conversations about sex and sexuality and amplify AAPI voices. Next slide, please. All of our content mostly exists on Instagram. We have a team of writers who help us write a lot of what you see on the screen here. We cover topics from LGBTQ+ representation in media to what is postcoital dysphoria. And we also recently, this year, next slide please, launched our podcast called Asians for Sex Positivity, the podcast, and I wanted to share a quick clip from Daniel, one of our guests. Essentially in these podcasts, I sit down with a guest and we kind of just have an intimate, casual conversation about what it's like navigating one's sexuality as an Asian American. So yeah, here's a little clip.
I was a go-go dancer / stripper for a gay bar here in New York that no longer exists. You know, when you're at a bar, what they used to call rice bars, which was bars predominantly populated with gay Asian men, and actually it was quite transformative to then become like this go-go dancer, being on boxes or stripping in front of like mostly white men, and then having them tip me and stuff like that. And so I remember a guy who came to the club completely afraid to touch me, and he just handed me $20 bills, which I found to be really interesting. You know, he can transpose any kind of narrative on my body at that point. And all I can think of was like, well, that's good because I can pay my credit card bill. You know.
So that's the podcast. And then last slide. We're trying to do more in-person events because we started during the pandemic, but now we're trying to make more community in person. So recently we did a Hit House kickboxing class in Chinatown, which was super fun. And we also have an upcoming figure drawing class in January that we're collaborating with the Brooklyn Loft. So if you're interested in being on the podcast or collaborating with us, come talk to me.
Hi, my name is Tati, and I was also a recipient of What Can We Do grant. I think it was 2022. And my work primarily deals with AAPI identity. And basically, in the spring issue of 2023, I was able to contribute my own personal narrative about my family's sort of journey to America. And I think that it's really important to amplify our voices beyond the confines of a community, because we are always trying to look for, better, positive community beyond our identity. So I know mental health is a huge issue for the Asian American AAPI community, and it's very taboo. And I thought it would be really great to speak about it. And it's taken me a long time to come to terms with our story being told by ourselves and our voices. You know, and imagine if you were a Vietnamese American child and you grew up and nobody knows where you are, and then you understand that they have engaged in this massive war with your country, and yet you're completely invisible. And one of the things that inspired me to do this was when I had a huge group of beautiful women, Asian American women, who were complaining about how they could not find a therapist that could understand our point of view. And on top of that, mental health is very taboo in the Asian American community. So I just took a leap, and you can read my story online if you want to, at the American Psychoanalyst magazine. And I used that as a platform to produce a 2,500 word with my own illustration to finally sort of put another voice to the, what do you say, Full Metal Jacket, or that kind of negative AAPI representation. Okay.
You can read it online.
Hello everyone, my name is Beata. This is my first pitch, so I wrote it all out to keep within the 2 minutes. So I'll just signal you. I recently heard a quote that has really stayed with me, that community is the oldest form of healing. And it wasn't until the pandemic that I awakened to many thoughts and ideas that I hadn't really explored or questioned before, including the history of Asians in America and distinguishing between Asians of all backgrounds, not just East Asians. As a teaching artist trained at what was then called Lincoln Center Institute, when Maxine Greene was the philosopher in residence, and where the work of art is seen as a catalyst for change, I had always included experiential activities when facilitating workshops or giving piano performances. With the rise in violence against Asians during the pandemic, I became more active in speaking out, facilitating conversations about race, and using social issues as inspiration for my music. I wrote this song, Invisible, as a way to express the many emotions I was experiencing during this time, for example. I became a staff developer for Morningside Center for Teaching Social Responsibility in 2021, which aligns with my work as a teaching artist. The focus is building community, strengthening social emotional awareness in students and staff, and fostering conversations about race. And I've been incorporating more interactive elements in my compositions, asking for audience participation with the hopes of bringing people together in community, like in this recent piece that was premiered earlier this month. And I will close with an invitation for you all to just take a deep breath with me and exhale slowly. Thank you.
Louise? Oh, sorry. You can just go here. Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Louise, and I'm an urban planner and an artist, and I was one of the Bandung residents that Mokata and A4 held for the residency this past year. I'll talk a little bit about the projects that I've initiated since that residency. It's really been such a springboard for me in fostering a lot of collaborations. A lot of my art really focuses on collective imagination, play, and community building, particularly around themes of environment and diaspora. And so I have participated with a couple of other Bandung residents on building a community altar, public ritual around seeds and memory in our diasporic communities, and a cookbook as part of that. And I'm also a teacher and advisory board member of a group called Octavia Project that leads programming for femme, trans, and non-binary youth that use science fiction and creative writing to imagine new possibilities for our future. So have been leading some like community quilting workshops and other kind of zine making workshops on speculative future brainstorming. And it's a very cool organization if you are interested in participating or teaching. And have worked with also with other Bandung residents on a variety of different projects. This is Anuj, who's one of my resident cohort. We did an activation about seeds and tea at the Mokata Sculpture Garden when they were unveiling their new plants and sculpture features. And the Bandung project that I've been working on throughout this whole process has been around documenting herbal plant traditions in Asian and Black families. And so if any of this resonates with you, if you really enjoy placemaking or thinking about relationships to plants, people, animals, I'd be really excited to collaborate and get to know some of you better. Thank you.
nervous, so I'm just going to read my cards. I'm AO, I'm an artist and community activist, and I'm here to tell you about my latest project, the Silent Unseen Audio Tour, an embodied history of Asian America. Next slide, please. Which traces the history of Asian immigration, relating Asian American history to Black and Indigenous histories with the intention to offer easily accessible education that centers building solidarity within and beyond Asian communities. Next slide, please. It attempts to move beyond the moniker Stop Asian Hate to a more in-depth understanding of how racism shows up for us, deconstructing the model minority myth. Next slide, please. The tour begins in Flushing Meadows Park and moves to the Queens Museum, using the architecture, history, and location of the museum with music, narration, somatics, and some stories from guests. At the end of the tour, participants will be invited to leave a story behind for future iterations of the project. Next slide, please. Oh, sorry, not yet. That's okay. The tour is supported. This tour is supported by More Art. I developed it through a fellowship with them. They're a small public art organization based here in New York. The Queens Museum has expressed their interest, but has not yet been able to commit to promotion or presentation of the project. Actually, what they did is they said they were going to promote it, and then they put their promotion on hold indefinitely because they had some staff changes. So here's where you come in. I'm reaching out to you and to the community to help in 3 key ways. Number 1, we're building community partnerships right now with Asian folks working at the intersection of social justice and the arts. If you know of a grassroots organization or a nonprofit who might like to sign up, like Asian American Arts Alliance, hint, hint, then please connect us. We'll list our community partners and the logos on our website, and in return, we ask that they promote the tour once it's released. If organizations are able, we ask that they also donate any amount to our fundraiser, which brings me to number 2. We're raising funds for finishing and the publishing cost of the project. Every bit helps, which brings me to number 3. The project will launch in early 2024. Any amount of following, promoting, sharing, talking about the project, going on the tour, or sending our sign-up sheet today is extremely helpful. I'm going to say this last part because it's the most important part to me. Asians are currently the fastest growing minority in the United States. When we look back on this time, I hope we see it not as a time of assimilation, but a time of change, where we can leverage our growth into solidarity, into building real solidarity and a more just world for all. Thank you.
I love town hall so much. My name is Chanel Matsunami Gavreau. I am a visual artist, I'm a photographer, and I'm an educator. I'll signal. I'm here on behalf of me and my best friend Alicia Quay. We are Unblended Project. We're a photo interview series that centers Black and Asian friendship and solidarity. We've been friends since, oh my God, like for over a decade. And yeah, we're here to make workshops. We're working on a zine. I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about that next. We've done a lot of community work. We worked with the Black School, Canal Street Market, Parsons School of Design, Youth Can Seattle, Think Chinatown, Noguchi, and the CUNY Graduate Center. We are also part of the inaugural Bandung residency, and we are also mentors for the second cohort, and currently we're part of their extension program. A main focus for us this past year has been our zine. Alicia is an accomplished writer. She's written for Catapult, Teen Vogue, Allure. She's also a lead workshop facilitator for the New York Writers Coalition. I am an educator and a professional photographer. I've worked with Harvard University, Duke University, as well as Asian Americans Advancing Justice. Next slide. So we lead workshops. We're actually working on an entire series right now on interracial friendships, intersectional collaboration, and we're also, this is very new, it's a new workshop called Folk Horror, and it's about Black and Asian storytelling on femme folklore and horror. So how to support us? We are launching our zine. We need money for printing, so if you know anyone who would be interested in supporting us, our goal is pretty small, it's only $500. But we're also looking for graphic design. So if you know, if any graphic designers are interested in working with us, we'd like to raise funds. And also we need zine distribution help. Come to our launch party when it happens. You can sign up for our mailing list today with me, or you can book us for a workshop. This would be a huge help for us. Thank you so much.
Is Eli here?
Yeah,
Oh, great.
Hi everyone, my name is Eli. I have slides. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. So next slide please. New to your radar, so I figured I'd just introduce myself first. My name is Eli. I go by the moniker Alien. It's like the extraterrestrial. 2 minutes is not enough for me to explain how weird I am, so sidebar later. Next slide please. So I'm a performer. I write music. Next slide please. I also produce music, and I specialize in basically translating energy and vibration into sound. Next slide please. I'm a content creator. I do content strategy. I also do stuff for myself. I use my platform to test out a lot of stuff that I push back against, like social norms, and do fashion and music. Next slide please. And that's how I came up with MAD Installations. It's basically music, art and dance. It's a convergence of all three. And it's a community thing where I want to try and like bring artists together so that people get to be showcased. Next slide, please. So these are some of my installations. I have one called Harmonasia. It's basically a sampling of all the sounds across Southeast Asia. Resonance Reverie is a sampling of healing, like singing bowls and stuff. Ecosonic Odyssey is sampling of nature. Astronomica is outer space, and Constructivic, can't even say it myself, Spectacle, that's how weird I am, is what I wanted to talk about today. Next slide, please. So it's basically an excavation of all the social constructs through music and dance. So basically like, what is gender, what is immigration, and then through music and then translate that into movement. Next slide, please. These are some of the themes. These are not set in stone, but this is like gender, this is immigration, what is love, and I wanted to try and like talk about more of these things, kind of like a book club, but through music and dance. Next slide, please. So what I'm looking for is venues and spaces that we want to do stuff like this, collaborators on all levels, and funding. You know, it's just how it is. And that's my presentation. Thank you very much.
The final, their 2-minute pitch, so you are so ready. I'll let you go ahead.
Hi everyone, my name is Ayano Shimura. I am a student at Columbia University, currently on a gap year. At the beginning of this year, I had my seijinshiki in Japan, which is a coming of age ceremony that marks adulthood in Japanese culture. I began thinking more critically of my future and the kind of life I wanted to live. I've always known I wanted to be an artist, but didn't know what that meant really, how to be one, what that entailed. That's when I decided to take a year off and start a project. Not yet knowing what this project was going to be, I started interviewing people who I found interesting. And these interviews were always spontaneous and you could say random, but each one was very special. I interviewed an owner of a guest house in rural Okinawa who cooks homemade breakfast for all his guests, included in the $20 rate per night, which is crazy. An old lady who owns a restaurant in the mountains with a crazy life story of going from bankrupt and having to raise 2 kids on her own to now having 10 branches of her restaurants across Tokyo. A 6-year-old boy skateboarder who has the cleanest kickflip I've ever seen and practices every day. And another older woman who realized at age 50 that her passion is art and now runs a small business selling handmade resin, Lucky Charms. I interviewed a wide variety of people with all different lifestyles and dreams, but that was in fact the one thing that united all these people. They all went through a common struggle to break away from societal molds. And it was in these stories that I learned that being an artist is not as much about the tangible artwork that is produced, or you could say life accomplishments, but more about the way you choose to live, how you choose to engage with the world in a different way, see things in a creative light, and build a life outside of the box. This has now become an ongoing long project, and I'm still in the early stages, but I'm working together to compile it into a book if anyone's interested in getting involved, and I'm extending to NYC. Thank you.
All right, let's just give a round of applause for everybody. It was a lot of great projects. So interesting and such a range of talent in this room. So if you all want to share your talents, or like I said, just want to introduce yourself, if you need money for a project, please sign up, and we'll give you 30 seconds. So if you want to come up, just come up here. There's a magic marker. You can put your name up here and go in order. Start us off, Ariel. Ariel's not shy. Okay. Great. And then, okay. And then we'll go. Want to start? Yeah. Ariel.
Oh, you want to start?
Yeah, you'll start. Yeah, you start.
Oh, gosh. Okay, here I go.
Wait. Let me get your timer ready.
Oh, wait.
You got 30 seconds to pull yourself together.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna pull myself together by petting this cute dog.
All right.
Yeah, folks want to line up.
Yeah, if you can line up over here so that you don't have to like go back and then come back, because we're gonna keep it moving. For this, people want to enjoy this amazing potluck.
I think it's actually easier if they come here because there's not a quick way to get through.
Oh, right. Sorry. Okay.
It's the razor wire.
Yeah. That's all right. Okay, you can just line up in this order and then just come through here, and I will get this dog out of the way. All right. Ariel.
We're gonna take down the letters. Okay.
Okay. Good job. Okay.
We good?
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Okay.
Hi there. My name is Ariel Estrada. I am the Executive Artistic Director of an organization here in New York that's been around for about 10 years called Leviathan Lab, www.leviathanlab.org. We are a creative studio for Asian American theater and film artists. I just want to come up here and tell you a little bit about our projects that are coming up in 24 and 25. First one that we're doing in April and May next year is a wonderful new play by Korean playwright Scott Sickles called Marianas Trench. Wonderful science fiction play. Was that 30 seconds already? Holy crap! And we're doing also over here Penny Pun's play. We're going to be helping produce her play. We just got some money from NISCA from, and I'm done. And my play.
All right, I'm gonna make space for folks to come this way.
Okay. Yeah. So just okay. Tell us your name and. Oh. Okay. Go.
Hello. Hi. Okay. Hi, my name is Xiaoyan, and I started a fashion brand. It's called Hot PNG, and yeah, I have a website, hotpng.com, and I just make. Well, I don't have a sewing machine, so I sew by hand right now. Not this one, but but yeah, I want to grow my fashion brand. So if anyone's interested, my social media is Hot PNG.
Materials for the arts on the free sewing machine.
Get inside the door.
Hi, I'm Lexi, and I'm here on behalf of myself. I work in intimates design, but I'm also here on behalf of Rashid, who is the founder of Work in Progress, which is an inclusive and supportive community of creatives that host events to inspire ideas and collaboration. We host monthly events like Co-Create to allow for creative co-working and show and tells to show people their progress on their work, but we're also looking to host an annual showcase where community members can put on visual, print, installation, and performing arts. Our last one, last February, was drawing on themes of self-love and hurt and healing, and we're trying to do it again this year, so please come up to me if you would like to be part of it. Thank you.
Your social media or your website or contact information on that sheet that you have.
Yeah, I'll put it back on the wall,
and at the end of the night, so people can take a picture of it and follow up with you.
Hi, my name is David Karsahana Lee. I'm a dancer, choreographer, educator, and curriculum writer. So my focus is the Asian American experience. being a fourth-generation American-born Chinese, third-generation American-born Filipino. I focus on contemporary, street styles, hip-hop, whacking, and I have a performance coming up this weekend which looks at assimilation through the lens of immigrant Asians, first-generation and multi-generational Asians, and I would love to get to know you all, and I'll put my social media stuff on there.
Hi, I'm back again. So I have an exhibition coming up. Opening is this Saturday. I have an exhibition coming up. Opening is this Saturday in Brooklyn Sunset Park, Thomas Van Dyke Gallery. It's on 39th Street between 4th and 5th. So please come. It's 3 to 5. And I'll post the information. Thank you.
Jamie? Hi everyone, my name is Jamie Liu. I'm a speculative fiction writer, and I'm here to pitch the Climate Writers group I'm in. So it's stemming off from Climate Cafe, which is a group in New York that sort of holds these conversations about climate change. The Climate Writers group, we range from like fiction writers, journalists, memoir writers. We're a small group, but we basically want to form like communities surrounding people who write about climate change. So yeah, if you're interested, please talk to me. Thank you.
Ashley? Mina?
Hi. So I am a fashion design student, and for my final collection, I'm inspired by radical community-based love, and so I thought it'd be cool to collaborate with other AAPI artists across multiple disciplines. So if you're interested, let's chat.
Okay.
All right, so we have one more 2-minute pitch. George's Bridges. I'll let George's come up and do his pitch, and then we'll close it up.
Hello, everyone. Sorry for being late. Got stuck in traffic. But my name is George's Bridges, and I'm from the Asian American Film Lab. We promote ethnic and gender diversity in the film industry. And I'd like to talk about one of our exciting programs, Film Lab Presents. It began airing on November 26th on Crossings, Xfinity, Comcast, and Spectrum. Your local time, 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. And it's a variety of films that are on the subject of discrimination, racial bias. Some of it is original content from our 72-hour shootout. Some of the winners, and they're great films that tackle issues like discrimination, racial bias, and gender bias. And our website is AsianAmericanFilmLab.com. We welcome anyone who wants to volunteer or help out or has an idea or would like to participate in any of our other programs. Thank you very much for your time.
All right, thank you, everybody. And if anybody, I hope you will, that concludes this part of the program.